yourself replaying an old argument or an old story over and over again in your mind, even if it's years later, you might even notice how it makes you feel quite negative or heavy. Resentment can be really sneaky, and it can show up as things like sarcasm, perfectionism, withdrawal, or constant irritation. But underneath the surface, it's actually unresolved pain. And today I want to show you how you can finally let go of this, not just intellectually, but emotionally, so that you can feel light again. I remember for years I was holding on to resentment towards a person that I dated for a few years when I was younger, and I was fine and functioning on the outside, but deep down I was really struggling with the way that I felt about myself, and I knew a lot of it was coming from beliefs that I'd taken on during those days with this person. And it wasn't until I started to do the subconscious work that I was able to shift how I felt about myself and about this person by changing my perception of the events that occurred when I was dating this person, which the limiting beliefs were coming from. So what is resentment? It's not just anger, but underneath the anger, it is often hurt that is stuck. It's protecting a part of you that felt unseen, unvalidated, or betrayed, and it creates emotional and physical heaviness. It can make you feel really sleepy and fatigued, and it can cause a lot of reactivity. Before we get into it, I need to go through something called secondary gain, because healing can't happen until we let go of secondary gain. We might think that we're ready to heal and we might really want to, but there might actually be something deeper that is keeping us stuck. So secondary gain is the unconscious or even sometimes conscious benefit that we are getting by holding on to the old story, the negative behaviors and painful emotions, even if it's misaligned with what you truly want. So when you're struggling to let go of resentment, even if you're absolutely sick of the way that it's making you feel and the behaviors that are coming out of those feelings, there may be a part of you that is still holding on to the story. Why? Because letting go might also mean giving up things such as a sense of control. It might mean no longer being able to avoid responsibility. It might mean no longer receiving validation and sympathy. And it might mean having to give up feeling justified in being guarded and distant. And without realizing it, those hidden benefits might actually make it feel easier to stay stuck than to move forward. But you cannot heal while secretly benefiting from the wound. So here's a step-by-step on how to release it. Number one is you want to name the resentment. Who or what are you feeling resentment towards, even if it is yourself? We then want to discover what it was that you were needing back then in that moment. Were you needing to be heard, have a voice that was heard? Were you needing to feel safe? Were you needing validation and acknowledgement? We want to validate that younger version of ourselves next. So going back to that moment with your younger self, tell your younger self you were right to feel that way and that your older self has got you. Say to your younger self, I've got you. We want to then remember a time where we felt the thing that we were missing in that moment. For example, if you really were missing for your voice to be heard in that moment, then when was a time where you really felt heard or you really felt like you had a voice? And then bring that feeling into the younger version of you that needed it and wasn't getting it. We then want to extract the lessons as opposed to the wound. So what is the positive intention that the resentment is trying to serve? Is it protection? Is it boundaries? Ask yourself, what does this do for me? Continue to ask yourself that question. What does this do for me? What is important to me about this? You can also practice some emotional release techniques such as breath work, shaking, journaling, or techniques such as disassociation, which if you want to know more about, you can let me know and we can go through that. And if you feel ready, it can be really, really healing to recognize if there was another person or other people involved, what did they need in that moment? One of the presuppositions of NLP, which neurotransformational therapy is adapted from, is that every behavior has a positive intention, even if that behavior was negative. So if there were people or another person around you who was exhibiting something that you perceived as negative or was negative, can you step into their worldview and see what were they wanting in that moment? What was their intention in that moment? Maybe they were trying to have a sense of control Maybe that's what makes them feel safe. So letting go isn't just a one-time thing, but it is deeply healing and it is a continuous journey. And inside my free mini guide, Emotional Release Techniques for Letting Go, you will get simple tools to process and reset your emotional state. The link is in the description, and if you found this video helpful, please subscribe, like and subscribe if you want more weekly emotional wellness tools and subconscious healing strategies. Thanks for listening.